My top rated book on Amazon is The Mental Handbook. You want the physical book? This one right here for free. Click the link below and let's get to work on your game.
DreAllDay.com.
But this morning we're talking about how to stand out. How do you stand out? How do you get people to really notice you, pay attention to you? How do you start to build that brand? What's going on, Valentine? People ask, Dre, how do I start to build my brand? How do I get that attention? How do I get people paying attention to what I'm doing? Well, that's standing out. That's what a brand is. A brand means people know you for a certain thing. That's what standing out is. That's the same thing. So to have a brand doesn't mean you got a website, don't mean you got a blog, don't mean you said it, doesn't mean you file some copyright paperwork or trademark paperwork. That's not what a brand is. A brand is you stand out is people know you for a certain thing or certain things. So I'm going to tell you how you stand out in life. Number one way you're going to make yourself stand out is, first of all, do what you would do if you weren't worried about other people's judgments, other people paying attention, or if you knew nobody was looking and nobody was going to say nothing, laugh at you, have a criticism. If you knew that whatever you did was just going to be accepted and it was going to work, what would you do? Do that. That's the number one step to standing out. What would you do if you knew no one was judging, no one was going to say nothing, you wasn't going to get in trouble, you wouldn't lose no money, and everything would just work out? What would you be doing? That's what you need to start doing. Now, does that mean you need to, and if you're just checking in, please tap the screen. Let's get 500 hearts. If everybody could do 500 hearts, I'd appreciate it. And this doesn't mean if you got a job, you got to quit. Doesn't mean if you got kids, you got to abandon them, or if you're married, you got to get a divorce. That's not what it means. It means you need to put some time in, even if you got to start with an hour a day, into doing that thing that you would do if all that other stuff that's all in your mind wasn't in the way. That's number one. Here's the number two thing you got to do to stand out. Once you start doing that, now this is all in sequence, understand. These are not choices. This is all a sequence. Once you do number one and you start doing that thing that you would do if you ain't have all the stuff that's in your mind in the way, identify what people, the audience, the population is actually, what are they responding to? So you might have 10 ideas. Sometimes I talk to someone who wants to be an entrepreneur. They're like, yo, I'm about to be a rapper. I want to do a clothing line. I want to write 7 books. I want to do live streams. I want to be a professional speaker. I want to do coaching. I want to be a consultant. I want to have my own TV show. I want to have a talk show. I want to have a podcast. I want to have a blog. They got like 30 ideas what they want to do. And one of you watching this might be one of those people, and that's fine. I'm not telling you can't do all of them. You can try all of them if you want. But once you start doing those things, whatever you're doing, you need to listen. You need to listen to the audience. Listen to what your audience is telling you, because they will respond to what they like. So you might have a blog, a website, you might have a clothing line, you might be a speaker, you might be a baseball player, a basketball player, a football player, and you want a reality show. Find the one that's getting the most response. What is it that people are responding to? What are they actually liking? And where are you getting the most traction? Where are you getting attention from? Where are your fans coming from? Where's your money coming from? Where's the business being generated from? Usually it's going to be a few things out of everything you're doing that's really getting all the attention. What is that? Identify what that is. You got to know what is it that the audience is actually responding to, because you might be doing something, you might love it, you might think it's great, but if you're not getting any traction, then maybe it might not be the right thing. And if it's not leading to anything else that's helping you, it might not be the right thing. Now, once you identify what that thing is people are responding to, you need to take that thing or those things, might be 10 things, might be one thing, doesn't matter, doesn't make it any better or worse. Identify it and push that thing or those things as far as you can possibly take it. Take it as far as you can possibly go. For example, I just showed y'all Grammys, Drake. Drake is a good example. Drake was an actor. He was an actor for a while. He was on TV. He was known. He had some fans. He was having some success. I mean, he was an actor on TV. I think a lot of people would love to be an actor on TV. He was also doing his music in the background. He was doing his music in the background. Which one were people responding to more, the music or the acting? People was responding to the music. So he said, all right, I'm going to drop acting and I'm going to do this music thing. And I'm going to push this music thing as far as I could possibly push it. And boom, look what happened. As a result, you look at somebody like Jay-Z. Jay-Z was drug dealing in the street. He also had his music thing. He knew the drug dealing thing wasn't going to get him the type of response he wanted. He knew the response to that was either he was going to get locked up or get killed or just be a lifelong drug dealer in the streets. He didn't want to do that. He said, let me try this music thing. He got a little bit of response. He had to push a little bit. He got some response, and the rest is history. So you got to identify, you might be doing, again, more than one thing that's working, quote unquote, working and successful based on what the average people are seeing. But you got to ask yourself, which one do I want to be doing long term? Which one am I getting a response from? Which one is getting me the outcome that I want? That's the one that you need to pay attention to. So those are the 3 steps to standing out. I'm going to recap, and if you got questions, start posting them. I'm going to take questions. Number 1, Do what you would be doing if you weren't worried about other people's judgments, criticisms, critiques, your own self-criticism, which is the worst criticism. If you weren't worried about all that stuff, what might go wrong, how it might not work out, all this stuff that's in your mind getting in the way of you doing stuff, standing out, do it anyway. Do those things or that thing, whatever it happens to be. Number 2, identify what people are responding to. Because you might be doing 8 things, but if people aren't responding to 3, you should probably just focus on doing those 3 because that's where the money's going to come from. And number 3 is push those things or that thing that people are actually responding to. Push that as far as you can possibly push it because that's where the attention, that's where the money, that's where the success, whatever it is you're looking for, that's where it's going to come from, the things that people are responding to. They're telling you something loud and clear when they're responding to what you're doing. If they're not responding, they're also telling you something. It might mean you need to change something, but a change needs to be made. Maybe you need to drop that thing completely, but I just gave you good examples of that. So any questions? Let me take questions. My name is Dre Baldwin, for those that don't know me. My Snapchat is at Dre Baldwin. My Snap is in my Periscope bio, and my website is called DreAllDay.com. DreAllDay.com is my website. You can find my podcast, all my social media, all that stuff. I'm everywhere online. Anything online you think about, I do it. YouTube, podcasts, I got a blog, I write books. I'm a speaker, I'm a coach, I'm a consultant. I do these live streams. I'm on Snapchat, I'm on all the other social media. Anything you could name online, I'm doing it. So you just look me up. My website, DreAllDay.com, you'll see it. Thank you, Sander, for laying out the steps in comment format. But all y'all can watch the replay if you didn't catch everything that I said. If you're on Snapchat, hit me on the Snap. My Snap name is at Dre Baldwin. You already know how that works. And I got a podcast, if you didn't know. It is called Work on Your Game. It is an everyday podcast where I talk about getting yourself into the right mindset, that bulletproof mindset. Getting yourself seen, heard, known. Getting the exposure you want and making things happen in your life instead of waiting for things to happen to or for you. Subscribe to that podcast. We're on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. Make sure you check it every single day. Make sure you're subscribed so you catch the heat. Work on your game.
Dre Ball. I feel like Dre Ball. I feel like Dre Ball. I'm ballin'. I feel like Dre